afternoon, everyone. If you please be seated, we'll go ahead and start. Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this very special day for Oklahoma State University College of Veterinary Medicine. I'm Carlos Risco, and it is my pleasure and privilege to serve as the Dean of the college. It is so good to see a large crowd finally be able to gather to name this wonderful classroom facility to honor Dr. Roger Panciera. And you're going to learn a little bit more about the impact that this classroom is going to have on our students. But I just want to say that this classroom will help us achieve our vision to become innovative world leaders in professional education. Importantly, it will have a transformative change in how we train and educate future generations of veterinarians that will call Oklahoma State University their alma mater. And thanks to so many of you here, OSU administration, alumni, grateful clients, and friends of the college, we have been able to secure funding to make this building a reality. And we are very grateful for your support. So before I invite President Trump to the podium, I do want to take a few minutes to welcome some special guests. Oklahoma Secretary of Agriculture and Board of Regents, Blaine Arthur. Oklahoma Lieutenant Governor Matt Pinnell's Chief of Staff, Kirby Smith. Senator Frank Lucas, Field Representative Megan Knight. We're honored to have some state legislators. Senator Tom Duggar from Stillwater. Representative Trish Ransom from Stillwater. Representative Eddie Dempsey from Valiant, Oklahoma. Representative John Talley from Stillwater. And Representative John Pfeiffer from Orlando. We also have with us this afternoon members of the leaders from the veterinary professions that I would like to introduce. USDA Area Veterinarian in Charge, Dr. Becky Brewer, class of 1984. CEO of the Association of American Veterinary Medical Colleges, Dr. Andrew McCabe. Thank you, Andy, for coming all the way from DC. Appreciate you. Oklahoma Veterinary Medical Association President, Dr. Lee Denny, class of 1978. OVMA Executive Director Gordon DeCook and Assistant Executive Director Haley Eberly. And now it is my distinct pleasure to welcome to the podium Dr. Casey Schrum, President of Oklahoma State University.
everyone who has supported the construction of this building in honor of Dr. Panciera. He was a dedicated professor and beloved and touched so many lives of students and led to them going on and having very rewarding careers in veterinary medicine. Dr. Panciera led a generation of faculty that built the reputation, the wonderful reputation that OSU's Veterinary College enjoys today. We are the only veterinary college in the great state of Oklahoma and only one of 32 in the United States, which is a wonderful asset for Oklahoma State University. The building itself is unique. For the first time in 72 years, all 3 years of students will have the ability to be in the same hallway, learning, interacting, and building relationships. Those relationships are important both inside of OSU and outside of OSU as we lead as a university in our One Health initiative. And that's a concept that connects human, agriculture, and vet medicine and health all together. Working together to solve society's most pressing issues is what is at the heart of our land-grant mission, and it's a key priority of mine and my leadership team. An amazing example of this happened during the pandemic, and those of you who followed what occurred, you know that the Veterinary College partnered very closely with the Center for Health Sciences to create a lab that allowed us to have testing in the state and to have a capacity that allowed us to understand what was going on in the state of Oklahoma. I couldn't be more proud of the work that the Veterinary College does here, and I appreciate all you are doing here, the Veterinary College, in the areas of research and education, as well as educating and inspiring tomorrow's veterinarians. I'm excited to see how this great facility will impact our university in our state, in the state of Oklahoma, and I so much appreciate all of you for supporting the College of Veterinary Medicine. Thank you.
Thank you, President Trump, for your comments. Thank you for taking time of your very busy schedule to join us this afternoon. And we are all excited to have you lead our wonderful university. So thank you. So also joining us today are university leaders that I would like to take a moment to recognize. Interim Provost Jeanette Mendez. Senior Vice President for Administration and Finance, Joe Weaver. Senior Vice President of Executive Affairs, Kyle Ray. Vice President of the Division of Agricultural Sciences and Natural Resources and Dean, Ferguson College of Agriculture, Dr. Tom Kuhn. Associate Provost and Dean of the School of Global Studies and Partnership, Dr. Randy Kluver. Dean of the College of Arts and Sciences, Dr. Glenn Krutz. Dean of the College of Education and Human Sciences, John Peterson. Don't seem, but Dean of the College of Engineering, Architecture, and Technology, Dr. Paul Tukowski. I don't know if she's here. Dean of Libraries, Sheila Johnson. Dean of the Spear School of Business, Dr. Ken Eastman. OSU Foundation President, Blair Atkinson. OSU Alumni Association President, Rob McInturf. they're hearing our applause. Chief Executive Officer, Board of Regents, Jason Ramsey. OSU Legislative Liaison, Jessica Russell. And a special welcome to the Panciera family. Panciera's legacy. Mike Lawrence, Dr. Lawrence, alumnus of 1969, his wife Belda, former dean. Thank you all for being here. Your presence here today makes our celebration of this beautiful facility that more impactful and enjoyable to us. So thank you. I also would like to recognize the faculty, staff, and students, many who have joined us for this celebration today. So those faculty and students that are here this afternoon, please stand, wave your hands so that you can be recognized for the tremendous work. Because at the end of the day, you are all the ones that are going to be doing the teaching here in this beautiful facility. Our Student American Veterinary Medical Association, SAVMA, President Cody Gingrich is here today, and I would like to invite him to the podium to make some comments. Cody?
Thank you, Dr. Risco. I'm so excited to be here and speak to the impact of this facility on its students. I had the privilege of learning in these classes in this facility this past recent school year. While it was different than anticipated, it has been a wonderful addition to the College of Veterinary Medicine and my learning experience. The video we'd like to share with you all includes both student and faculty sharing what exactly excites them about this building and the future of the College of Veterinary Medicine.
As a veterinary student, I've always loved this school regardless of the buildings and the technology. The people here are amazing, and this new building is just going to better improve our education and how we learn and how we interact with each other, providing more room and more technology, and just showing.
At this time, I would like to welcome Dr. Jerry Ritchie, He's a professor in the Department of Veterinary Pathobiology, who is going to tell us about the legacy of Dr. Roger Panciera. Jerry?
Welcome, everybody. I've been asked to speak briefly on the professional family tree of Dr. Panciera and to recognize Roger's family. Standing in front of you today for me to represent the professional family of Roger Panciera will be one of the highlights of my career, and I truly mean that. I am but one person representing hundreds of Roger's pathology disciples that are scattered all over the globe, making their own important contributions to teaching, research, and teaching pathology. After all, most everything we have done professionally has its origin with Roger. Dr. Panciera's infectious enthusiasm for the discipline of pathology was the primary driving force for us to become pathologists. His curiosity in always asking the pertinent questions was instrumental in our pursuit of research. We wanted to share the joy and satisfaction that Roger had in teaching veterinary students. Teaching was everything to Roger. He devoted his life to teaching. Thus, it is entirely fitting that part of Dr. Panciera's legacy would be in the name of this education center. It is meaningful that the education center is here, where Roger spent his entire professional career, loyal and true to OSU. Many of you know Roger kept his office and came into work every single day for about 12 years after he officially retired. During this time, he continued to make important scientific contributions. If you love what you do, you never work a day in your life, and Roger lived that. I'm so glad that Roger's family is here with us today. Michael, David, Susan. For the past 32 years, I've always asked myself what it must have been like growing up in the Panciera household. When I worked for Dr. Panciera in the summertime, I at least got to come home. And sometimes I needed that escape. I suspect that Roger's ornery temper and mastery of profanity was not just reserved for me. As rough and gruff as Roger was, he loved deeply. Roger had the utmost respect for the veterinary clinician. And it was his pride and joy that David was a respected veterinary clinician and academician. In class, on the necropsy floor, or at many, many times at the Panciera home, I've heard hundreds of David's stories. Many of you know that Roger was an amazing craftsman. He was also amazed at what his son Michael could do. And we've all heard many stories of the complicated details of Michael's woodworking projects or historic home renovations. Susan, your dad was so proud of your work, and most of the stories I heard were from when you were in the DC area, how tough you were in a man's world. And of course, the joy you had when you moved back home just a couple blocks south of the house on Grant Street, a house your dad built with his own hands. As a dad myself, I realize I'm not always the best at expressing my feelings to those closest around me. So just in case Roger was afflicted with that disease, I just want to say that I know for a fact that your dad was very proud of you all and that he loved you all very much. Thank you for sharing him with Oklahoma State.
Thank you, Dr. Ritchie, for the wonderful comments and for giving us the opportunity to learn more about Dr. Panciera and his wonderful family. Thank you. At this time, I would like to welcome Sharon Warrell to the podium. Sharon, many of our alumni know her commitment to Oklahoma State University, I should say her passion for Oklahoma State University College of Veterinary Medicine, who's going to tell us a little bit about the impact that Dr. Panciera had on his many students. Sharon?
Thank you so much, Dr. Risco. It is so wonderful to see so many familiar faces here today. It's been long awaited to be able to celebrate this building dedication, and we are so grateful for all of our alumni and friends who have helped make this building possible. You know, few efforts connect alumni to the college as well as long-standing faculty. And Dr. Panciera was certainly that professor for the CDM. But he was not aware of his own awesomeness when he was with us here. That his students impacted the veterinary profession using gifts of his instruction every single day. There are so many stories. Roger increased our reach. He brought recognition to this university and the veterinary profession as a leading pathologist, and he never wavered in his passion for scientific discovery and his students. He was who he was, and he owned it. Dr. Rebecca Morton, alumna of the class of 1972 and faculty emeritus, had this to say about her former professor. Dr. Panciera was a professor who made me think broadly before narrowly. He was the mentor who loved to bust cases and help me be a better diagnostician, scientific literature reader, and researcher. Finally, and most importantly, he was my friend, so missed. And I think that sums up how we feel in our hearts in this moment. Alumni of the college are Roger's product, his legacy. He's a living legend here, having taught veterinary pathology to nearly 95% of all graduates of the CDM, impacting veterinary pathology and students in the profession preeminently. Today, the impact and culture of CBM alumni engagement is a stunning example of what can be accomplished when we celebrate where we come from, affirm why it matters, and actively share these values for the success and future of generations of veterinarians. No one of us is as good as all of us. While it's well known that Roger's teaching was translational, alumni contributions to this great facility have transformed this college for generations of future veterinary alumni because of him. Thank you so much to everyone whose gratitude for their former professor brought this education center to campus. Thank you.
Thank you, Sharon, for those reliving those moments that our students had with Dr. Panciera and the impact that he had on their career. Thank you very much. Before we conclude, I do want to take a few moments to thank a number of individuals for their effort for making this event happen this afternoon. Ashley Hesser from our OSU Foundation Director, and her team from OSU Foundation. Thank you very much. Terrific staff in the Dean's office, Sharon, Deborah, Melissa, Dorinda, Facilities Manager, Jeremy Duthit, Jeremy, who made sure that you all had a good parking spot. Those details, and Brad Barnes from IT to organize all of this. And of course, to the many faculty and our staff that make happen every day. They show up and they do give their best effort to train the best veterinarians. And on behalf of the College of Veterinary Medicine, I want to once again express our sincere gratitude to all of you for your support to make Oklahoma State University the premier College of Veterinary Medicine in North America. Thank you. At this time, I invite you to join me in Pistol Pete for some refreshments and to tour this beautiful facility. Thank you all, and go Pokes.